Welcome to Dan AHG YouTube. Emmanuel S Agbogun say SOWERE arrest na abuse of law. He say he no dey happy with the way Tinubu dey use the law take dey fight Nigerians. Make I leave you, make you hear from Emmanuel S Agbogun.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I want to believe that there are better things that the government can occupy their mind with than this show of oppression on the masses. Everybody has been saying, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you protested peacefully for weeks under President Goodluck Jonathan in this country, and nobody arrested you, nobody intimidated you. But today, the reverse is the case. Our leadership ought to reflect, because it is very obvious that the ruling class is just using our resources to their own personal interests. It is no longer the interest of the average Nigerian man, particularly when it has to do with things that border on justice. Today, our country is being seen as a country that does not respect justice in the Committee of Nations among the West African states. If a country like Kenya can be correcting Nigeria when it comes to the issue of law, I think we are derailing. We are derailing very, very. Yes, a warm good morning to you all, my ever-conscious Nigerian people. I remain no other person than yours, noble right activist, Comrade Agbogun Emmanuel. As you all know, the last time we were very much live on this Blue app, we were talking about the protests of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu release, heavily led by foremost human rights activist and renowned journalist Emmanuel S Agbogun, who happens to be the leader of the revolutionary movement and who have always been in the struggle for a better Nigeria. Firstly, before saying anything, I want to, at this juncture, implore all conscious Nigerian youths, particularly those of us who are on the Blue app and who are also doing a whole lot to ensure that information is properly sent across our space. I want you all to please take a reflection. I have seen, what a lot of big influencers have said here, VDM, a lot of big influencers, but I just want to use the word VDM, who happens to be the president of the Ratel. I believe in a cause like this, Nigerian youth should be able to speak up, owing to the fact that a section of our country, believe that they have their rights to self-determination and their leader is being held. Does that also give room for us to openly watch our judiciary system being abused? Let me cite a few reasons here, and before citing them, I want to appeal to those of you who are watching me live this very morning. I want you all to please share and invite on these 15 minutes broadcast I'll be doing here to conscientize the interest of our people. If you're watching me, I want you all to please share this broadcast so that others will get the notification. This very moment, it saddens me that at the time when Nigeria is supposed to be healing, when unity and reconciliation is supposed to be on top gear, what we are seeing is that the minute of a minute of a minute are trying to see how they can continue to rule over the general interests of the Nigerian people. Agreed, nobody is more Nigerian than the other. If it comes to the issue of political reasoning, everybody has their interest to support whoever. As I speak to you, I'm supporting Bola Ahmed Tinubu. I have been advocating for him since 2022, and I do not see any reason why to stop supporting him. But with recent actions done under this government, I want to say that the way and manner in which our court processes is obviously being abused. It calls for a high level of concern, particularly to we the Nigerian youths. You see, today is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, tomorrow it might be another person, next tomorrow it might be another person. And the law that happens to be the supreme document that binds all of us in this country is not respected. Now, I will say this and cite it very clearly. On the 18th of October, there was some court processes being filed before a competent court of law in Abuja, saying that the right of the citizen should not be respected, should be restricted. Then at the end of the day, those same courts who are restricting the rights of the citizen to peaceful protest came out in the nocturnal hour at their chamber after saying in the public open court that they declined the bail application, came out to say that yes, they have granted such bail application. Now, people were protesting and were arrested by the same police who came to the court, rather than take them to the same court so that the court will say that they are in contempt and charge them accordingly. You took them to a lower court. Then on the same day, the said person who led the protest came to your office multiple times, who was also a party in the other previous suits. You did not arrest him. You did not find him worthy, despite the fact that petitions were already written, statements of suspects were already written. They came at the point when they were writing their statement. No recommendation of arrest of Emmanuel S Agbogun has been reached. 48 hours later, you are arresting him, incarcerating him in your detention facility, and making it look as if this power of presiding over us is in fact is no longer procedural. It's no longer a thing that we ought to believe that goes by the binding document of the 1999 Constitution. For me, this is the height of irresponsibility. This is the height of anyhow way of governance. I use the word anyhow way of governance because we are not towing to the right path. In the 21st century leadership, I think people should be more concerned on how to make life much more easier for their people. But in Nigeria, no. Those who are rich, who can never be poor in their life, will still continuously want to remain in the corridors of power to accumulate more wealth that they will not use. And the question to ask, is this normal? Is this normal? Is it normal? So having said all of this, I want to believe that the judiciary as an independent arm of government, particularly those of them who are lawyers today, who are members of the NBA, who are members of the bench and the inner bench, or whatever they call it, or the inner bar, however they call it, I think it is high time you guys make us understand that there is no need for us to follow procedures anymore. All lawyers should just believe that from now henceforth, we no longer believe that there is law in this country, because whatever thing that we believe we get justice for, some few individuals can just sit down and upturn it to their own interests. Whereas when the interest of the law is up to be the utmost position of matters as it reflects to our day-to-day activities. It is indeed very sad. I tell you, it is, my people, it is indeed very sad that we have reduced Nigeria to this level, whereby people who are armless are not the ones in detention, while those who are with arms, government will be negotiating with them. Do we think we are sending the right signal here? And you see people who are with arms, they go into the bush, kidnap people, put them in the bush and demand for ransom. And we feel that we are passing the right messages. I think at this point in time, our leadership ought to reflect. Our leadership ought to reflect, because it is very obvious that the ruling class is just using our resources to their own personal interest. It is no longer the interest of the average Nigerian man, particularly when it has to do with things that border on justice. Today, our country is being seen as a country that does not respect justice in the Committee of Nations among the West African states. If a country like Kenya can be correcting Nigeria when it comes to the issue of law, I think we are derailing. We are derailing very, very fast. And if we don't correct these anomalies, I do not think Nigeria will become a safe place for anybody. I do not think so, because right about now, it appears that government is encouraging those people who are bearing arms to continuously bear arms against those people who are peaceful and going about their lawful business in a lawful manner. It pains my heart that Nigeria in this current time is passing through this. To my comrades who are out there, I want to say it and say it very loud and clear. It is high time we stop all of these shenanigans and begin to attack the real issues as it relates to the Nigerian people. We are just the sole problem of ourselves. We should be telling our Nigerian people, leave the government alone, be letting our Nigerian people to know that not until when they decide to rise up and speak up, nothing will work in their own interest. If you like, come out and say otherwise. If you like, come out and say you want to vote. Not until when we decide to rise up and be on the table. You don't need to burn houses. You don't need to burn vehicles. You don't need to cause any form of violence. The Nigerian youth should, via this our blue app that we have gotten, begin to mobilize its conscience across board. We are over 180 million Nigerian youths. Over 180 million Nigerians across the globe, both home and abroad. Whether you are a Retel, whether you are a conscious mind, whether you are a Gen Z, whatever title you give yourself, as far as you fall within the age bracket of 18. In fact, let me use the word from 16 years to 45. You are a Nigerian youth. You should be able to speak up and tell ourselves the gospel truth. If we continue to relent on the procedures of law, that is why some of us who believe in the doctrine of jurisprudence, in the doctrine of equity, fairness, and justice, you agree with me that we are commending what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu did in the court. To say I will represent myself and mention those people who have also come out to say things and do things and who are even in the corridors of power that knows what is actually going on but choose to remain mute. Martin Luther King once said that the hottest place in hell is reserved for those persons who during moral crisis choose to remain neutral. Even if I support you, if you do something wrong, I should be able to come out to say, yes, this thing that this man has done, it is wrong. It is wrong. That is why you see a lot of people dislike some of us because they believe that we choose to take sides. In Edo State here, in my state, I know how I have contributed to both the socio-economic and socio-political welfare of my people. But because the majority of our people don't like truth, because truth is fast drifting from our society, they would end up criticizing, calling you all sorts of names. And it is still we, the Nigerian populace, these youths that are under this bondage, that are still fighting ourselves. We have to change that ideology. We have to speak up for those things that will kill us tomorrow. Because if we fail to speak up for it today, it will surely affect us tomorrow. A lot of people might think this is a child's play, but it goes far beyond that. That in our own country, for us to come out and express ourselves, it becomes a problem. Tomorrow, there will be more harsh sanctions. Don't forget, those of us who are managing to live, federal government has proposed a new tax law that is going to greet us any moment from now. And I think by the time people start slowing down on issues like this, when it gets to that time, a lot of people will also slow down. Because as it is today, it's obvious that we, the Nigerian youth, are forgetting that an injury to one is an injury to all. We cannot allow the finest of us who knew into our past, who know how we have lived and who know the way out, to continuously remain in incarceration, while those who are perishing our economic fortunes, while those who are looting and killing our dreams as Nigerian youths are allowed to preside over us every now and then. And we choose to feel that this is the best way out as a people. Our Nigerian people, if you subscribe to what Desjardins just said, we cannot be doing a protest to call for right thing to be done. Out of 180 million of us, only 1,000, 2,000 people are coming out. How do you expect the government to take us serious? How do you expect the government to take us, particularly when we are trying to correct the abnormalities in the system? Nigeria is supposed to be a comfortable place for everybody. Even if you don't have food to eat, you can walk into any shop, collect what will feed you, and walk away. And the government will be made to pay a stipend to that shop owner, in as much as there are evidences to show what you collect. But it is not like that. People cannot even barely feed themselves. And those of us who are able to remain on this app, buy data, talk to ourselves, interact, we still do not believe that it is time for us to get up and demand what is right. It is not by going to burn tire during NSAS. If Nigeria will be changed, I share the common opinion that you don't need to burn a tire. You don't need to burn the tire. Nigerian police cannot know a date where 1 million Nigerians say that they are coming out to occupy streets. You must not come to a particular point. Begin to occupy your streets from there. By the day we say we move, government will know that this is serious business. I don't hate anybody in government. All I want is for the system to work. I don't hate anybody in government. All I want is for the system to work. It has not got to do with me being there. All I want is that when an average man can wake up in the morning and have a common source of livelihood, that he can beat his chest to say yes, put a 3 square meal on his table and a roof over his head. That is what we are all talking about. And in the comfort of all of those things, electricity, pipe-borne water, clean water, and security. That's all what we are talking about, which we lack these basic things in Nigeria. I feel pained. I condemn this act of oppression, brigandage, intimidation, harassment, unconscious mind. So having said all of this, let me submit by saying, I want to appeal to all conscious Nigerian youths. It is high time we begin to occupy our reasoning in this blue app. It is high time, particularly when it relates to issue of equity, fairness, and justice. It is high time we begin to speak up, despite our political interests, despite our social interests, despite our clout. Nigerian celebrities, Nigerian entrepreneurs, I think it is high time we begin to live above personal interests and talk about our collective interest, because someday, the gunpowder might choose to explode, and it might explode in the wrong channel. It might explode in the wrong channel. So that is why we are coming out to say that we must, as a people, continue to speak truth to ourselves. It has gotten nothing to do with personality. It has gotten nothing to do with an individual. It is talking about our collective interests. Our collective interests as a people. We must begin to unite to demand that which is. Because if you keep quiet the elections and we go in this divided front, we might not be able to have it right. We might not be able to have it right. And to the federal government of Nigeria, ably led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I want to believe that there are better things that the government can occupy their mind with than this show of oppression on the masses. Everybody has been saying, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you protested peacefully for weeks under President Goodluck Jonathan in this country, and nobody arrested you, nobody intimidated you. But today, the reverse is the case. At this junction, I want to call it to a halt. I just believe that this blue app should be used properly. In another GFA, I will be out to speak to my conscious mind. Let us immediately begin to advocate for those things that will promote us as a collective good people of this great country. Once again, I remain no other person than yours, noble activist. Please do me this good to share and invite this broadcast. We are not talking politics. We are talking about the restoration of our country called Nigeria. If you ask people like me, it's not that I don't have the means to leave this country, but I love my country. I love my country. That is why tomorrow I want to be in any platform in the world and say, yes, I am a made in Nigerian product. Thank you and bye for now.
Now we don't hear from Emmanuel Agbogun. Let us know what you think for comment section. If you never subscribe to Dan ARG YouTube, try make you subscribe so that make you for the hear all the things wey dey happen for Nigeria. Make I leave you with this video. Make you help us share am. Thank you for watching Dan ARG YouTube.